Spendthrift Farm Stallions. First 2-year-olds on the track by Golden Sense, Cross Traffic, It's My Lucky Day, Can the Man, and Shaking It Up, including Golden Sense's stakes winner Pickett, a dominant 9-length winner in the $75,000 DS Shine Young Futurity at Evangeline. Spendthrift, the Breeders' Farm.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and Sunday's Spa Baby race is the opener. We kick off the pick 5 with this field of 2-year-old fillies going 5.5 furlongs, and our sponsor Spendthrift Farm very well representative. Not only does their stallion Into Mischief have the 5 Into Mystic in this race, but Spendthrift also owns Into Mystic. We'll get to that one in a minute. Let's take this field in program number order, beginning with the Joe Sharp trained coupled entry, the number 1, Mo Wheels Up. This one is by Uncle Mo, a $170,000 buyback as a weanling. Boy, Uncle Mo does well with 2-year-old first-time starters. This dam won her debut at 2. I wouldn't be surprised if this filly can step first out.
Yeah, precocity top and bottom, and this filly certainly looks like she's going to live up to it. She's got some sharp-looking works on her work tab recently. This mare, Smarty Deb, a nice little mare. She won, I believe, several stakes. She was a multiple stakes winner as a 2-year-old at Emerald Downs. She's gone on to produce 4 winners from as many starters. 2 of those won as juveniles. She's got a couple of stakes horses out there already, including Wild About Deb, who was 3rd in the Pennsylvania Derby a couple of years ago. As you mentioned, Uncle Mo, of course, we already know him as a standout 2-year-old sighter. A lot to like here.
You're right about that Smarty Deb. She was a real surprise from the Pacific Northwest. I think her only loss came in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies at Monmouth over a boggy track. And as you mentioned, she's been a really tremendous producer. The 1A is Lady TNT. This filly showed a lot of gas in March, breezing a furlong in 9-4 before selling for $335,000 in March. She is the only experienced horse in this race, but I think it's best that we treat her as a first-time starter because she didn't break well. She was in and among horses going into the turn, and just as she wheeled out into the stretch, she clipped heels terribly. It was very fortunate that she didn't go down. I think Lady TNT with this outside post is going to show a lot more TNT out of the gate.
Yeah, she was, I think, starting to make a good little run there when she clipped heels and just lost all chance from there, and was really very lucky not to have a worse incident there. The stallion can get a nice 2-year-old filly. He's had executive privilege and a couple of others. I think with the way she worked and the way she sold in March, they probably had this one primed to run well first out, and we're certainly, disappointed in what happened, just the unfortunate racing luck, and perhaps they'll have her tight and ready to go for this race again.
The number 2, Hidden Facts, breaks down towards the inside. This is a daughter of The Factor, trained by Brian Lynch. Interesting that over the past couple of years, going into Friday's action at the Spa, the rail is 0 for 37, going 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Hidden Facts' dam was a multiple stakes winner over a synthetic surface, but never won on dirt. And I wonder if this is kind of a hidden turf synth family.
I think so. I'm really intrigued by this pedigree. You're crossing The Factor, who's a son of Warfront, over a City Zip mare. Warfront and City Zip, both very good 2-year-old sires, but they've also sired a lot of turf and synthetic runners. The Factor, a little bit of a hidden turf sire himself. As I said, I think it's a really interesting cross. I think it's certainly a cross for precocity, but this one I'm going to be watching for on the turf down the line, perhaps.
The number 3 Dance Club has the pedigree we've been waiting for. She is a daughter of Candy Ride out of Storm Flag Flying, who won 4 Grade 1 races, was unbeaten at 2, a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner, not to be outdone, both her second dam and third dam, Breeders' Cup winners as well. Dance Club is a full to Revved Up, a graded stakes place turf router. The question I have for you is the 5.5 furlongs just a little bit too short for this blue-blooded filly?
I certainly think so. As you said, this is the great Stiff family, started by Personal Ensign, comes through her daughter, My Flag, and My Flag's daughter, Storm Flag Flying. They were all certainly precocious, good 2-year-olds, but they really did their best work at longer distances in some of those classic type events for fillies. sire Candy Ride, is a nice 2-year-old sire, but again, a lot of his runners, really long-winded runners, in addition to Horse of the Year, Gun Runner. You think of horses like, Misremember, the Santa Anita Handicap winner, Shared Belief, a champion and multiple Grade 1 winner routing. So I really do think Dance Club might just be getting warmed up at this shorter distance.
One of the wonderful things about Saratoga is whether you're a horse player or a racehorse with pedigree, especially 2-year-olds, the patricians and the plebeians often stand side by side. Dance Club's got that blue-blooded pedigree, and right next door is the number 4 Tweedia by the $1,000 stud fee stallion Double Irish. What can you tell us about Double Irish?
Well, Double Irish is an unraced son of Capit who stands in Arkansas. He is out of a Steve Tizzy mare who was a stakes winner as a juvenile, so perhaps there is some ability there that'll come through that family, and we certainly know Capit can sire a nice juvenile. Now, Double Irish, I believe, is 0 for 5 with his 2-year-old first-time starters, but as you can imagine, standing down south down there, really away from some of the meccas of thoroughbred breeding, stallions don't get as many mares, don't have as many opportunities. So some of kind of these light statistics on these stallions can be a little bit misleading.
Tweedia's full sister was a winner with a 62 Beyer speed figure, and this filly, perhaps most importantly, is trained by Brad Cox, one of the best young trainers in the business, and she seems to be working quickly at Churchill Downs leading up to her debut. I think she'll be ignored because of her rather pedestrian pedigree, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Tweedia outruns her odds in a big way. The number 5 is Into Mystic by Into Mischief. Spendthrift owns both. This horse sold for $650,000 in April, and boy, she worked fast. 1 furlong in 9 and 4. She's got a lot of class in her pedigree. It's Pletcher and Velasquez, and this filly figures to take a ton of money.
Oh, very much so. Into Mischief, we talked about so much throughout the season at Spa Babies. A standout 2-year-old sire who has come out swinging with his 2-year-olds again this season. Into Mystic out of a Medaglia d'Oro mare. He's really starting to emerge as a good broodmare sire, and I think he's going to continue to do so. You think about all of the outstanding daughters he's had out there who will get their shot with some of the, the best stallions in the industry, and I think the cards are, sort of out there for Medaglia d'Oro to be a very good broodmare sire. Runnymede Farm bred this one Into Mystic, and I always take note when I see their name on the breeder line. They're such a quality operation. They're responsible for the likes of Lady Eli Collected and others. They're one of those breeders where I definitely, stand up and take note because I know the horse comes from very good stock. And, Spendthrift went out and bought this horse after she worked so well at the 2-year-old sale. And I always like to see that. Certainly stud farms do support their stallions by buying their progeny. But by the same token, the stud farm can have as many Into Mischiefs as they'd like. So you have to think there's something special about this one that made them go out and acquire her.
Completing the field is the number 6, What a Fox, a Gary and Mary West homebred by Bernardini. And I kind of like this pedigree. The stamina of Bernardini over plenty of speed. The dam, a juvenile stakes place sprinter on dirt. The second dam, a juvenile grade 2 stakes winning sprinter. The quality runner Call Now. It's a nice pedigree, and boy, these connections are just dominating at Saratoga right now. I wouldn't be surprised if What a Fox can run first time out.
Yeah, and Steve Asmussen's doing very well with his 2-year-olds at the Saratoga meet, and this filly is from a family that he's had a lot of success with. You see, in the female family, relatives include Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner Tapizar, Grade 1 winner Pyro. Both of those have some ability going longer, but really kind of found their home around one turn. So again, it's that combination you speak of this speed backed up by some stamina on the top of the pedigree.
It's a really fun way to open up the Sunday afternoon card at the Spa. Horse players have the advantage of watching the board as we kick off the Pick 5 and the entire card on Sunday. Who do you like?
You know what? I'm really feeling a little chalky about this race. I think the Joe Sharp entry, I really think that he's going to have those two tight and ready to go, considering, kind of some of their patterns and their work tabs. And as I've mentioned, there's just a lot about Into Mystic that makes me think that she might be a little bit special. But if I were going to try to upset those, I think it would be with What a Fox. The Asmussen barn is doing so well, and as I mentioned, that's really a classy page.
I have a soft spot in my heart for that Phipps family, but like you, I wonder if maybe Dance Club needs a little bit more ground than this 5.5 furlongs. And I'm with you, feeling a little chalky in this race. I think into Mystic, the 5 is going to run well. Maybe the Arkansas-bred Tweedia for Brad Cox can liven up the exotics. It's a fun way to open up the Sunday card. It's Sunday's edition of Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. Good luck.